Again, I'm Veronda Cox, and I'm a local business advisor here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I've been with the company for about 20 years, and I've had the distinct opportunity to work with over thousands of businesses throughout the year to help them maintain and grow their market share through custom marketing campaigns and also our state of the art software where you can stay in constant contact with your clients. Now, right now, we're in a state of mind where we have to really change our mind shift. We need to change our mindset as to how do we adapt to our new normal? How are we going to set our businesses up for success when that change comes? Everybody knows what's going on, so we need to be able to adapt to that. We're now at a time where we have to think about how do we adapt? How can we stay top of mind for our clients so they can find us when the time for us to reopen? How do we stay in constant contact with our clients? How will we be able to let them know that we are practicing social distancing? How will we be able to let them know that we are here for them and that we are here together to help? We're at Thryv. We want to come alongside every business owner to help them to be able to do that, to help them to be able to adapt to our new normal. During this presentation, we like to give you some tips and some best practices on how to do that. And at the end of it, we hope that you'll come out with some insight on how to manage leads, how to manage your online profiles, your reputation, processing payments, and also just to have simplify your mass communication with social media and marketing. At this time, I would like to introduce to you my colleague, our digital strategist and lead strategist, Brad Bourne, who's going to take you through some tips and some best practices on how to adapt. After the webinar, if there's any questions, if you'd like to set up a one-on-one, we'll be more than happy because, again, we want to come alongside to let you know that we're in this together so we can get through. Brad?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Rhonda. And thank you so much, Diane and Lexi and the Boone County Chamber for having us. We're proud to be partners and members of the Chamber, and we're very honored to be able to present to everyone today. So just like Rhonda said, I am Brad Bourne. I am a digital engineer and lead strategist at Thryv. My role here at Thryv is basically to help with any organization or any business in terms of strategy and guidance towards accomplishing their main goals. So we help many organizations and businesses of all sizes. We primarily focus on helping small businesses and local businesses across the American economy with basically their marketing needs, their particular software needs, tracking interactions for customers, and so many major components of marketing lead generation, but also ongoing, not just finding the customer or introducing them for the first time to the business through marketing various methods, but also nurturing and keeping ongoing track of the interactions you have with them, building up on the frequency and the nurturing of the relationship with your customers ongoing. So a little bit of who we are, a little bit of our history. We actually have a 130-year history of helping small businesses. Literally since the 1800s, we were the pioneers of the yellow pages in the phone books, for example, and to this day still publish the local phone directories across the country. And beyond that, we were the original search engine. So in the 1990s, before Google and MSN and Yahoo and AOL, there was the Internet Yellow Pages, that we have the largest network of Internet directories to this day. And beyond that, of course, we were the first partners of the search engines and the largest partner as far as managing Google ads and search engine marketing ads for local businesses in the United States. And then, of course, also the largest provider of listings management for small businesses, managing the business profiles and the actual listings that appear on your major engines and directory sites and voice search databases and so forth. And then beyond that, about 2 years ago, we created the Thryv software specifically for organizations of most any size, but vertical specific based on the needs of specific industries and really catering towards small businesses' needs, but also allowing it to be flexible enough to adjust for any size organization. So we'll kind of cover the major components that we've already heard about basically as far as our goals for today. And I'll get right into the presentation here for everybody. And again, any questions you have, by all means, feel free to chat or at the end of the call, we'll go ahead and stop. And if there's something that you feel is really important, you want to me to address it right away, just come off mute and I'm happy to to toggle over and address it right then and there. So by all means, we'll go ahead and get started. So today, again, the focus is on adapting your business during uncertain times, what you can do now. And so we're going to share with you, again, kind of the main points of how to manage and how to be successful and adapt during COVID, and then adapt to the new normal and become successful beyond it. Okay, obviously the normalcy that we've had in the past is going to be changed. People are adapting to using more video conferences, more digital tools. And so many organizations are needing those resources right now. How do I adapt and use those resources? Some of them are financial resources they're seeking. Some are tools to help them with communicating with customers without coming within 6 feet of social distance within them. In some cases, it's taking payments online or through text message or to various means like that. So we're going to cover a lot of points here today. And I feel that everyone's going to have some tools and some good takeaways they'll get from this. So let's go ahead and get right started. So first off, the impact of crisis on small business. Small businesses generate 44% of the U.S. economic activity. So obviously, small business is the heart of America. And so it's important that every single organization and small business we can reach with the resources and tools. Our goal at Thryv and as good neighbors in general is just to be able to help one another in any way possible. So many of the resources, the majority of what I share with you today is absolutely free resources that anyone can get a hold of, any type of organization. And so by all means, we're here as resources as well that you can reach out to afterwards. Rhonda Cox, of course, being your local business advisor. Me, Brad Bourne, being your strategist, if you will, for any additional assistance or technical specifications you really need to get into. Let's get forward into this here. So beyond the obviously the crisis with COVID-19, the natural disasters and financial recessions, anytime that every organization or small business is going to take a hit, we have to find different ways to adapt and to maneuver, right? And so basically to find creative ways to adapt these major impacts that we have from limited cash flow, unexpected expenses, staffing issues, maybe not getting the resources of people, and there's some businesses we're speaking to that are trying to ramp up and trying to get resources in. They're unable to find people that are even applying for the positions right now. So there's many different challenges that small businesses and organizations of all sizes are facing. A lot of them are financial, but a lot of them are actually trying to ramp up and prepare for the surge. And so it's easy to panic and know what to do. It's easy to panic and not know what to do. And so that's the point of part of this presentation, is to help with the steps on what to do. So always seek help. If there's a major need, a major crisis that you feel in your particular organization, beyond the actual crisis going on, but actually in your organization where your business is struggling either with keeping its doors open or struggling with keeping customers or keeping leads or keeping people engaged with your organization, take advantage of the resources out there. So always raise your hand and seek out resources and look for opportunities such as webinars like this that share these resources. So feel free to share these virally, share these on social media, this video, for example, and so forth. Communicating with clients and prospects is the #1 thing that small businesses and organizations need to be doing at this time. Over-communicate. Communicate everything that you possibly can. So seeking help, there's a lot of resources. The Small Business Development Center is an outstanding resource. They give guidance on what to do in various situations and struggles for all major industries. Every major small business organization has trusted assets and resources here at this site. So I've got the site right here, americassbdc.org, great resources there. Chamber of Commerce, of course, your local Boone County Chamber is an outstanding resource. chamberofcommerce.com for those in other areas watching this video. For example, chamberofcommerce.com/chambers, a great resource for other guidance and suggestions, as well as other ideas based on specific industries, how businesses are adapting as well. The United States Small Business Administration, specific link I've got here as well, perfect source for grants and funding and other strategies in this type of part of your time. Whatever the challenge your organization or business is facing, there are plenty of resources to find on these here as well. Beyond these, I'm going to go ahead and toggle back real quick here. There's also resources within Thryv. So Thryv actually manages a Thryv Foundation, which is a resource for many small businesses and organizations, or every small business and organization basically, to also get this guidance. Within Thryv itself, we have our foundation, which gives grants for small businesses and organizations in need, and we'll listen to the particular concerns and assist. So there's no shortage of resources out there, is basically what I'm trying to say. Between our own foundation, the United States Small Business Administration, the Small Business Development Center, your local chamber, lots of resources at our disposal. We also have another resource center, learn.thryv.com, for example, and there's a COVID-19 resources button right there. And these are resources that are free to any organization, any business, and they give guidance on different examples of things that you can do, such as email templates, text message templates, communication for on your website, things to adjust. And we'll go ahead and cover that more in greater detail in just a couple minutes here. So let me toggle right back in here. Let's see, get right back to where I was. So let's go back into the particular point with resources. So some of the resources, again, with the Small Business Administration is on funding and loans and grants. And so there's some links, direct links right here. Beyond that, you can ask certain vendors to defer bill payments if you're really struggling, obviously, reaching out to those and just saying, hey, can I have a month break, or can you give me some leniency of when it's due? Most organizations are adapting in that way. And it's also good practice if you can accommodate your clients with this, have some type of plan in place for doing the same. American Red Cross is an outstanding organization as well, both financially and for counseling assistance. So really good resource with that. In terms of communicating with your clients, now, like I said before, is the time to over communicate. It's, you're probably getting a lot of emails yourself and seeing them, especially from franchises, large enterprises. Well, even the smallest of organizations and businesses should be following this model, making sure that you communicate to your leads, to your customers, people in your pipeline, in terms of how you're still open for business, or how you plan to be open for business, or how you are adapting at this time. What are you doing to stay socially distant with your transactions, allowing perhaps payments via text, via email, via your website, via client portals, things like that. And there's software out there to help you with this. So Thryv, of course, the Thryv software does allow for you to do this, and there's plenty of other resources out there to different ways for you to communicate with your customers via text and email, via your website, providing portals on your website for people to access their accounts and do direct communications. So things like that, there's plenty of them out there. But one thing that we really want to remind people is that now is the time to over communicate. If you're not sure if you should send a message, just send it. Make sure that it's obviously tailored towards your brand. It's tailored towards you addressing the concern. It's not a sales pitch, but it's how you can help. And so that's what we really could recommend at this time. And we'll show some good examples of that here too. Via email is one obvious way to communicate with your leads and your customers. 99% of consumers check email every day, right? Problem with email, though, is that we get over flooded with emails. So you may get hundreds of emails in a day if you're like me, and 91% of adults like receiving emails from companies they do business with. The only downside with email marketing is that sometimes it gets skipped over. So that the actual subject of your message is key. When you're sending an email, make sure that that subject within 3 seconds will open the eyes of the person reading it. Make sure that it says exactly what the topic is about. You don't want it to be spammy. You don't want it to violate Canned Spam Act, for example. It has to specifically be on point with what your subject is, and it really should be as a resource or showing them something that they're going to learn or benefit from when they open that email. So to make sure you have a good open rate, make sure that that subject is spot on and it's not violating Canned Spam Act. It's not a sales pitch. The average time spent reading an email is about 11 seconds. So again, the honest subject line, keep it short and sweet, be transparent with how it's going to impact the business and the client. Don't sell. Share how to contact you. Make sure that the footer of the message or the end of the message has the contact information at least. Website, email, phone number, portals, social media links, and maybe slogans and branding, of course, at that opportunity towards the bottom. So take advantage of the message within there, but keep it short and sweet, keep it transparent, and be on point with helping. Example of that would be right here. So a business, a pressure washer cleaning company, stating specifically in their email how they're sanitizing their equipment, how clean it is, and how the CDC recommends what to do to keep clean and how they can be of benefit there to their prospects. How there's no human contact needed. They take payments online or via their website, online forms. They use other tools, for example, online and resources for helping with their proposals. And then, of course, the social distance is maintained. There's no need to come within 6 feet of them. So excellent opportunity to present your business or organization with ways that you're helping in a socially distant manner such as this. Then beyond this, text messages. So communicating via text is even more effective than email. The reason being is that 98% of text messages are opened within 2 minutes. So unlike emails that sometimes you get clogged down, you got hundreds of emails, I'll get to this one, or you skip over them by mistake, 98% of text messages are read and opened within 2 minutes. There's no other media that's as effective as far as reaching the consumer at the exact time that you're sending it. So that the keys to sending a proper text message is, one, include the business name. Make sure that you got the business name first and foremost. Keep the message under 160 characters. Make it personal, but stay professional. be transparent again about the point of your message, okay? And obviously you gotta be a little bit shorter with a text than you are with an email, so include links to specific resources in there. And there's software like Thryv and other resources out there to help you with communicating via text, either individually, one-to-one, or based on groups, based on the specific needs of different customers. The power washing example I used before, they likely have commercial clients, residential clients, they may have municipal clients. So maybe putting them in different groups or buckets and sending out a specific message based on the group needs. And perhaps some of their clients are specific for power washing driveways. Maybe some of their clients are specific about power washing homes or buildings or brick. So specific, you can customize and tailor a message based on the interactions you've last had with them. So just some examples there. And again, utilizing Thryv software or other software allows for you to specifically build campaigns and do it in masses to groups or individuals. The next thing that we want to talk about here is basically text message examples for a healthcare situation. So some of us watching this video, for example, may own medical offices or maybe doctors themselves or marketing for medical professionals. So if they're not already utilizing these type of safety precautions and stating exactly what protocol or policies they're following for safe social distancing and so forth in their policies to remain keep a good, safe environment. This is an outstanding example for text. So specifically stating, interacting with your patients or prospective patients with the specific things and protocol that they're following. So someone who texts, for example, the individual medical office or doctor, and then how you're addressing the specific questions. So always have already a template or a theme in place on how to respond to individual inquiries, and also be forthcoming and proactive with sending out this message to everybody before they need to ask. So have it on your website, have it in your social media, have your protocol and your policies of how you're staying safe and maintaining this healthy environment proactively in all your major marketing and these communications, and be prepared for when individuals ask and how to respond. So that's a great example here. The next thing is we're going to switch to is social media. There's over 2.5 billion mobile social media users globally, 1 million new users added every day for social media usage. So extremely powerful method of communication. 46% of people rely on social media to make purchasing decisions. 72% of brand followers are likely to buy in the future. So if you're not utilizing the social media for representing your brand or your organization, now is the perfect time to start, because there's more people adding social media and utilizing social media and referencing social media every day than ever before. And it's unlikely that is going to decline. So right now is the time to consider your social media strategy, how you're communicating and branding your business, and how you're actually proactively broadcasting how your services impact people and how you're helping people and how your services can benefit your end users. So popular social media platforms, everybody knows Facebook, of course. There's Pinterest, there's Snapchat, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, there's Yelp, there's LinkedIn, there's plenty others I'm not showing here. But these are some of the core ones that every organization in business, in my opinion, needs to really focus on. More than anything, I would say Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter is key. Very, very high usage, and obviously B2B, LinkedIn, it doesn't get much better than LinkedIn if you're B2B. And in terms of Yelp with reviews and review management, and those that are looking to go kind of viral with more and more people speaking about the service and bragging about them, making sure you have a strong profile built on each of these social platforms is key for communication. And there's tools out there, including Thryv, that allow for you to sync all your major social platforms together. So you post it in one place and it takes it and broadcasts it to all the others. So there's a lot of great tools out there to do that. And just an example, and like I said, there are multiple resources available to do this. But one of the great benefits of Thryv is the fact that you can have one dashboard that takes in some of your most popular social media, whichever ones you want to connect it to. It'll keep track of the analytics, the conversations you have in between. All your content can be scheduled out, and there's various levels of service with full service or individual, you just do it yourself. So just to kind of demonstrate how easy it is to synchronize content, so when you post it in one place, it goes to multiple places. I just wanted to share an idea there. The other thing that we'll go back to, let's go back to that. Oh, I lost my spot. So the other social media resources out there, like I said, there's plenty of social media channels out there. And the more that you have time to connect with the more viral your message is. And I don't mean to, viral, I shouldn't say, but exponentially your message is, right? You're reaching more people, they're reaching more masses. So the more social channels you connect and profiles you build out, the better for your organization. But making sure that you update your business hours. So are you an essential business? Are you open right now? If not, what is your plan? If you are open, what is your methods of being open and communicating for customers and leads and prospects? And then always post with a client-first mindset. Only share content they'll find helpful in interacting with your business. Be genuine. If you're trying to hide anything, don't post it. So if there's another alternative motive for you to do something, don't. Share it only if there's really going to be a resource or benefit for the end user reading it. Interact with your followers. Respond to questions as quickly as possible. And again, don't try to sell. Just share resources and benefits here. So when it comes to representing your organization and your policies and procedures, this is kind of a good protocol to follow with social media. A good example for social media here, you're open to safely serve, right? Stating the hours, stating how they're open to public at this time, senior citizens or those with maybe immunodeficiencies during these hours. Having separate policies and procedures for that is a great example. Be a leader. Just because the governor mandates it or doesn't mandate it in an individual state, if you feel that it's necessary to have additional safety precautions, do it and state it in there, and then be proactive with it. And others are going to, really be proud of you for doing that. Alert customers you're still open and how you're making it easy. Let's see here real quick. So 30% of consumers say they won't consider a business that doesn't have a website. So migrating from social media, now we're talking about websites and the value of your messages on your website. 30% of consumers won't even consider a business if they don't have a website. So there's a lot of organizations out there that basically just have maybe a social media presence or maybe no online presence at all. Now is the time to get a website started if you don't. And it's also a time for you to communicate more on your website if your website's stale, hasn't been updated in years, you're not ever putting any kind of policies and procedures on it. Now is the time to change that. Now is the time to put a proactive message on exactly how to do business with you, why you over someone else, what you're doing during this time, why you're better at doing it in a social distant manner than you were in the past, or maybe that others are not as easy to do business with as you are. And now's the time to brag about that. So crisis website tips, just like we were following this model for social media. Again, updating hours, how do you contact me and when do you contact me? Adding a pop-up or a message, something specific about COVID-19 resources, COVID-19 safety protocol. Something about this should be messaged on every organization's or small business's website at this time. Adding a pop-up is a good example where it can quickly click to go away. I'll show you some examples in a second. Implementing online scheduling. So if you're not utilizing that already, the Zoom meetings like this or web meetings of other kinds, Skype, what have you, online meetings and online scheduling is critical for most organizations at this time to have that option. So whether it's restaurants with curbside pickups and the protocol for doing that and scheduling online, or if it's a contractor and scheduling the appointments in advance, or if it's a medical office and how to schedule a web appointment, a telehealth type visit. Continue creating content. Google loves detailed, descriptive language. So whatever you're writing, we always want to write for our end user. That's kind of a theme that you'll see throughout all the information I'm sharing here. We're not writing for any purpose of selling or for Google to rank us higher, though there is a great benefit if you do it properly. You're always first and foremost focusing on your end user, your client, your prospect, your lead. And so the descriptive language that you use helps with your rankings and search engines, especially on your social media profiles, especially on your website. So if you happen to use lingo or language that's relevant to your end user, but also happens to be popular words that people would Google, whether it be by voice on their phone or by typing it on their computer, that will help you with ranking higher in search results. So a power washing example that I said that mentions specific protocols and policies, they happen to put it on their website and their social profiles. First and foremost, they're helping their end users, their prospects, their customers, and secondary, they're going to get a marketing bump because they're going to be ranked higher because of fresh content, relevant content to people, what people are Googling. So there's a big benefit there as well. So let's go ahead and show some examples. Toggle over here. So some examples here is this is Bill's Barbecue in Indiana. They're using a Thryv website with a pop-up, just for example. You can see some of the functionality that they have here as far as ability to quickly call, view the catering menu, check out videos. Beyond this, you've got a COVID message here. So we can customize the effect of this here. So I can see exactly what their policy is, drive-up window, all of this. They've got a whole specific protocol laid out right here. It's very professional, very clean and organized and well branded. So some quick resources for this example here. Another one I'll show is another Thryv website, just for example. And these can be done on any website platform. So by all means, any website platform is capable of doing what I'm showing you here. There's different ways of doing it, and whether you have full service support from a vendor like Thryv or a partner like Thryv, or whether you're doing it yourself, there's resources. So again, specifics that are in here, what their priorities are, their focuses, their offers, COVID-19 resource updates, opening up, and can be opened up within a page. I highly recommend also that when you do this, if you're making a pop-up, put it exactly on your web page. In other words, make a URL for it. Make a page URL that says COVID-19 update or resources specifically. It'll be indexed in Google. It'll show up in search results. It's going to be very relevant. If you do it as a PDF link, for example, you put a brochure together or a Word document and you put it on your website as just a link to a document, it's far less effective. It opens up in another file. It's not indexed in search results the same as it is on your actual web page. So there's a big benefit to doing that as well. And so having a policy like that is very, very good idea. Other examples, just put in examples of the pop-ups and different messages and how they have content addressing it specifically on their page and how they might be addressing people in these times. Specific messages, again, I want to show you a couple examples here. And then again, on that learn.thryv.com resource I shared, we have examples for how to create a website pop-up. Examples for email and text campaigns by major verticals or industries. Whether you're a restaurant or a doctor or a plumber, contractor, we've got examples. These actually integrate within the Thryv software automatically, but by all means, other software or whatever you're using, we can help you with guidance for that. So there's some good examples there. Let's toggle over, get right back to where I was here. So the next thing I want to share is the website pop-ups. I showed some examples of those, but those are very powerful. And some website tools like Thryv websites, and there's others out there that allow for you to pre-programmatic schedule pop-ups and schedule what's called website personalization. That means that maybe a new visitor to your website gets one message, a repeat visitor to your website gets another, or maybe on Monday they get one message, on Tuesday they get another. You can customize this with what's called website personalization, where different days of the week means a different message, volume or frequency to the website gets a different message, and tracks interactions and form fills and things of that nature too. So that's another great resource to utilize. Thryv Business Software, kind of showing you examples of how software can help you with all of this, and to speak to kind of the bullet points that we started with wanting to address at the beginning of this call, helping you manage leads and customers and nurture for additional revenue streams, managing your online profiles in one place, your social media in one place, process transactions in socially distant manners via being able to send estimates and invoices and appointment reminders via text or email, or social media, or both, or all, managing your reviews, your reputation. This is what this is going to do. It's going to be able to simplify mass communication and individual interactions from an app on your phone. Literally can take 20 hats off your head, if you will, as far as a business owner or manager that has just so many things they have to manage. Can literally take 20 hats off your head and allow you to do it all from the palm of your hand with your app or your phone or any device. All you need is a password. So examples of software like this with Thryv, for example, was where instant communication tools keep up to date. It's real time. It's cloud-based, meaning you don't need any kind of expensive equipment or servers or hardware. It's all cloud-based. All you need is a password. It's stored for you. It's like an online bank account in terms of security. And anyone with your password is the only way to access this. Stay in touch with things as they change. So as things update, the software updates. As your customer profiles update, it updates. In other words, it keeps track of every single interaction for the very first time a prospect contacts you, on to the time they schedule an appointment, to the time that they get an estimate, to the time they get an invoice, to the time they make a payment, get a receipt, to the time they leave you a review and a referral, and it's full circle for every single interaction they have with you ongoing. And we can import existing data, for example. Software like this can import existing data from other sources and bring it in here, and then ongoing nurture your clients, your leads, your prospects, so forth. So the idea behind this kind of software utilizing at this time is to help you with communication, easy, instead of having to do things and look at different methods of communication like paper or social media and then email and then text and different research. How did I communicate with that customer? What's the last thing they said to me and where was it? Was it on paper? Was it in my phone? Was it in Facebook message? This allows you to put them in one place automatically. So that's the idea behind software utilizing that in this time. So a good quick example of that. Pull this up real quick and then we'll open up for questions. Get right to this software here. There we go. Okay, so a software like Thryv, for example, has the ability on a phone to have quick access buttons to everything you want to do. You can two-way message, text, or email your clients, and it utilizes your business phone number. Your actual business phone number is used, or we can put tracking numbers in, for example. You can process payments through it, credit card transactions, debit card transactions, so forth. You can record payments like a virtual cash register, like cash and check. Scheduling appointment with getting text confirmations, text reminders, and text follow-up. So automatic after the appointment, it can send a link to review you on Google, or a survey, or a follow-up to the employee that had the appointment with the customer, asking what to do next. Do we want to leave a note? Do we want to send them a review link? Do we want to take a survey? We can customize the flow of that. So automation software like this allows for you to track everything in one place. And so what's nice about this is your particular customers would have social media interaction. Every time you plug a new customer in, or it can tie in with marketings for when they call you from your ad on Google, ad on Facebook, ad on Yelp, wherever, it would automatically flow right in here and pull social media photos, birthdays, data from their social media profiles automatically. So this automatically, from the very moment that they contact you, you're getting data on your leads and your prospects as well as your customers to help you know who they are, know how you can best serve their needs. And then ongoing, it has the ability to keep track of those clients and focus on specific phone calls that you're getting, and from the time you start interacting with them, keep track of the scheduled appointments, the specific types of words that you put on their specific profile folder. So you can tag them, and that can be used for marketing campaigns. The marketing campaigns, like I was talking about before, whether you're doing it individually or using a software like Thryv, keep track of who is opening it, who's viewing it, who's clicking on it, who's engaging it. Maybe it's a birthday card, maybe it's holiday cards. You can use automation with this, automatically have it done. You just create the campaign, the rest is automatic. Or if you're using other software or doing this individually via email and text, just make sure you look at what are people doing after you send it. Is it effective? Gauge the effectiveness. So how many people actually clicked it, viewed it, engaged it? It's good with software that you can easily see this. You can click on anything and see exactly who did what and when. That helps you understand how effective was the campaign. Should I mirror it with another campaign? Should I do something completely different? Maybe the headline was off. Maybe my message didn't get the point across. But you can gauge the results. So it's important you look at your analytics. So it's good to have a partner like Thryv or other resources out there that give you all the analytics of everything, from your website traffic to your social media performance to your email campaigns, your text campaigns, you name it. But looking at the analytics is very beneficial. Having campaigns, every time you get a new customer, value that customer. Make sure that you appreciate that customer, you show that appreciation. So having a campaign that may be automated that gives them a thank you and maybe a request for a referral, maybe a coupon for the next purchase, but an automatic campaign that just by the fact that they made you a transaction, it automatically goes out to them via text or email. That is a good practice to do because it's extremely effective at getting referrals and building your pipeline and making your marketing that much more effective. Beyond that, you can also have automatic campaigns, like I mentioned before, for reviews. So you can specifically have a review where automatically they get a review after they make a transaction with you, and it gives you a link to leave a review. That link, for example, would automatically go and leave the review on Google. So I'm just going to do a quick example for this here.
Hey, Brad, you're muted.
Brad, we can't hear you.
My internet just went down for a second and everything muted out. Okay, so I apologize. Hopefully, when was the last thing you heard?
Give an example of a review.
Oh, perfect. Good. Okay, good. I didn't go too far back. Good. So yeah, the examples of the reviews. Let me go back real quick here. So I'll just start with this. So keeping track of your reviews, Google, Facebook, and Yelp, you can do that individually by checking those resources, right? Going there and just seeing those. But 99% of small businesses do not respond to the reviews. And that's a major problem because you're not thanking the customer for taking the time to thank you. They're helping you. They're helping you get referrals, if you will, by giving that vote of confidence, that review. So software, either you can use something with software like Thryv, or you can individually go to your business.google.com or your Facebook or your Yelp or your yellowpages.com profile or any other profile that has the reviews and go in there and sign in and respond to them. You want to say thank you. You want to give some kind of customized personalization. There's some software too like Thryv that offers automatic responses for you if you want. So you can have this on automation. But the major point here is basically just to respond to reviews, giving that thank you for doing it, maybe even offering to them that you have, hey, you know what, I give a kickback to my valued clients for any referrals you get back. I give you $50 account credit. I'll give you $50 for each referral. Things like that are a great practice to follow. So there's some ideas for reviews and reputation helping at this time kind of grow your pipeline. And then beyond that, managing, whatever it is, your website in one place, a client portal where your clients can sign in securely and make payments and view documents and history and transactions, customize widgets, but more importantly too, even than all of this, managing your profiles. So we call it listings management, right? But that's where we're talking about in the beginning with your Google, your Yahoo, your Bing, your Yelp, your Facebook. You either do it individually, but I highly recommend businesses go through and check out their search engine reputation, right? Your profile, that listing, name, address, phone on Google and Yahoo and Bing and even AOL, major search engines, and make sure that you have a profile that says your brand and how you want it to be branded for you. Logo, photos, things like that. And then beyond that, you want to look at directories. You want to look at navigation apps. Make sure the map marker, the driving directions to your business is spot on for Waze, Apple Maps. And so there's software like Thryv that allows for you to synchronize it all in one place and it manages all your profiles. So you do one master profile with the correct information, then it flows it all to everywhere else. Or you can individually go and find those sites and do it there one by one. But the idea is make sure that your brand is represented the way you want it to. Featured message, slogan, photos, promotions, whatever. But make sure it's exactly how you want. Because if you don't control your profile, you're leaving it up to the individual engines to do that. And it may not be what you'd like it to be. So those are just some quick examples. I mentioned the social media syncing as well. Whether you're doing a software like Thryv to sync it or whether you're doing it individual, the more social media that you synchronize and send out to them exponentially, more people you're going to reach, the larger your pipeline is going to grow, the more revenue you're going to get as a result. So a lot of different resources out there. Thryv is just one of many different softwares. It's kind of the all-in-one solution. But if you're looking for a resource to do that, you can reach out to Rhonda Cox. If you want suggestions or guidelines with your business, even if you're not interested in Thryv software and you're just thinking, help me, what can I do? By all means, Thryv, our business advisors, we're trying to be here as resources and help you, whether you're interested in doing business with us or not. It's not about that. It's about just helping our neighbors and our friends. And like I said at the beginning of the call, there's plenty of resources out there from the Small Business Development Center, from the Red Cross, from your local chamber, the Boone County Chamber, you name it. There's resources out there. So if you need help, raise your hand and come out and we're going to help you. So I really appreciate the opportunity to speak with you all today. Here's my business card. Here's Rhonda's business card. And by all means, you feel free to reach out to us anytime you have questions or need help. And I'll open this back up to Lexi or Diane. And again, I thank you so much for the opportunity to present today. Any questions for me?
If anybody has any questions, I see Brian just jumped on. Feel free to unmute, maybe just raise your hand, and Lexi or myself, in case we have multiple people at the same time. If you'd rather do that through the chat box and be anonymous, we welcome those questions, and we will make sure that Brad and Veranda are aware of those options too. So go ahead, Brian. Do you have a question?
I do. Thank you, Diane. Thank you for the presentation today. So we are a new business in Boone County. We're a skilled nursing community, and we are struggling with maps. We are building in the middle of a field behind Anson Senior Living, between Anson Senior Living and Eagle Church. And so my question is, from a map standpoint, we've worked with the city. We receive mail. We've contacted Google or Google My Business, We've received the code, we've sent it back. We are still not coming up the exact location on a map. It's putting us a block away. And then if the other question is on like an iPhone, with the Apple Maps, I don't know if it's an Apple Map, what the name of their iMaps are,
Yep.
but we can't even search for our local address. If I put in my business name, I've tried to add a location when I go on the map and kind of click on some of the functions that the map will let you do. So just looking for some direction on a new business on how I can be found.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and this is a problem that a lot of new businesses have. Believe me, it's very common. So to fix the issue, what we typically would do in this situation is, first of all, you did a lot of the right steps right from the get-go. You did the Google My Business postcard verification. You updated the map marker there. Obviously, you verified you're getting postal mail. So the issue is stuck in the databases, basically between a conflict. So what we do is we do exactly what you did. And then beyond that, we also go to maps.google.com and we will suggest an edit. We would normally take a screenshot of a physical map showing your location map marker, and we upload it from there as well. And then what we do is we basically communicate to Google in multiple ways that this is a true change of address. This is where the map marker needs to be. You've already done it through the Google My Business portal, which is the #1 way of usually communicating. Sometimes, unfortunately, it gets hung up and it never gets done. And so a couple ways. The other way that helps is if a Google local guide, so for example, I'm a Google local guide, when they make suggestions via Google, they tend to have a little more weight that this person makes a lot of frequent updates, kind of like a frequent Yelper on Yelp. Their suggestions and reviews and that have more weight and they show up higher on the page. So if you have a local guide make the suggestions as well, it kind of expedites the process from my personal experience. And then the other thing that can be done as well is Thryv uses a listings management software built into it called Yext. It's built into Thryv, for example. And when I was showing you that particular list here, what this does is instantly creates profiles and updates profiles in real time in this huge network of databases. There's about 70 total databases. Yext is the same software that the Postal Service uses for verification of addresses. It's the only software that has a legal license agreement with like every major search engine, GPS mapping navigation app, including Apple Maps, which is a big, tough one a lot of people have problems with. So all your search engines, voice search databases, you name it, they're all kind of under this umbrella, and it's a master profile. So that would be a really quick fix for this, but alternatively, single-handedly doing it, a local guide. And by all means, Brian, feel free to just go to bradbourne.com and schedule or reach out to Branda, and I'd be happy offline to help you with that and get that done. So we can just go on your maps and fix that. Absolutely.
And I wasn't clear the name of that software.
Oh, sure. It's, Thryv is the software. The Thryv. Yep. Yeah. It's got, yeah. So it's all built in together. But yeah. Yeah. Thryv is thryv.com, and you can always go to bradbourne.com for my portal and links to it there. And Bronda's business card, of course, will be here as well, and she can reach out.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. Any other questions, guys?
Thanks for that explanation. I know that's a challenge for sure. I know Brian and I have spoken. I did talk with you a little bit about that yesterday too, Brad. So thanks. This is really a great opportunity. Here we have two chamber members connecting to really be a solution, to a problem that, one business is experiencing. So thank you for your expertise. I know Thryv company has, as you kind of gave an overview today, you can, meet the needs of a broad range of businesses. And, especially in these times, we think, as you mentioned today, it's the most important time to really get your name out there so people know who you are, to draw that client base, as well as keep good communication, with the customers and clients that you currently have. And I know everybody's having to do that in a different means. Healthcare, as you mentioned, is huge. Probably everyone on this call today has probably received some sort of text communication from a healthcare provider or personal care provider, because the way they're having to do business is much different than they did because of that social distancing. So making people aware, you know, I always say communication's the key with everything, whether that's verbal or email or text communication, whatever. You know, we're encouraging folks to communicate, you know, more than ever also. People are probably thinking that the chamber is doing that also, like, oh my goodness, there's one more communication from the chamber. But right now, that's the only way, you know, that we're able to get the information out, as all of you are doing too. So does anybody have any additional questions? Anything in the chat box? Anything? I know Carly had sent me a chat box. She had to jump off, but she wanted to thank you guys for the great presentation also today. Anything else, Brad, Veranda, you guys want? Any other questions? Any of our attendees? I know we have, you know, some nonprofits on this call. We've got some healthcare on this call. We've got some travel folks in the travel industry on this call. As everyone I just saw in the news this morning is very concerned about their summer vacation plans. So I know communicating those updates, you know, with in that industry is a great challenge and need also. Anyone else?
Great information that was shared. I know that was a lot of information. Again, if anybody wants any more information to do like a one-on-one or in-depth, Brian, I'm here to help any way that I can to, you know, help you get that situation straightened out on Google Maps. If anybody, if you don't want to say anything right now as far as a question, my information is right there on the screen. Please feel free to get in contact with me. I will follow up with you. Like I said, great information. I know it's a lot, and sometimes they're thinking, oh my goodness, where do we start? And again, we're just here to help you get through this. During this time, we either can go through it or grow through it. So that's what we're here to do. So if you need anything, please reach out. Let myself know or Brad, and we'll be more than happy to help. And again, thank you, Diane, for allowing us to be a part of the chamber and to be able to present to you today. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. We're still here. And anybody?
Absolutely.
Well, and as those questions come up, you know, as Veranda and Brad said too, you know, at this time, their main focus is just to help. Sure. And I think that's what we're all trying to do right now. And I love that little phrase you just said, Veranda. So that's true, you know, about, you know, we're all striving to grow and become better, you know, through the situation. And, you know, we're excited for, you know, what that's going to look like. So as questions come up, please know that, you know, we're here, the Veranda and Brad are here just to answer your questions. Reach out to them for a complimentary call. I look forward to seeing how, Brian, you get that Google Maps and directions rectified. I hope you're able to get that resolved. Let me know kind of what the status of all that is. And again, thank you to everyone. Lex, you have anything else to add? I know what I forgot to add. So hopefully chamber members, and for those that aren't a chamber member, just go to our website. It'll be on there. You know, we know this is an uncertain and stressful time, so we're actually going to do something just fun on Thursday too. It is going to be virtual yoga with Indiana Yoga Studios, another Boone County Chamber member. I don't know if I'll have my video on for that. I'll certainly be participating, but yeah, that's just going to be something fun. So it's Thursday at 4 o'clock. And so join in for that. We all definitely need some relaxation during these stressful times also. I want to see Brad and all of you, you know, come in those yoga pants. And
that's right.
That sounds like fun, Diana. That sounds like fun.
That's good. Well, everyone have a great afternoon, and feel free to reach out, you know, to the Thryv representative as well as Lexi or myself.
And one thing, Brian, I was gonna say, you're the Anson Senior Living. I'm like really close to where you're located. I'm like maybe 5 miles away from that. So again, if you want to talk further, be more than happy to do that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get that fixed for you, Brian.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right, thanks
everyone.
again, guys.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much.
See you
Hope
later.
to see
Thanks
you
again.
all in person soon.